Welcome back. The North Carolina Republican Party's 2025 convention now in the books. During the multi-day event, Jason Simmons was elected as chairman and a number of lawmakers appeared as speakers. Republican North Carolina Congressman Addison McDowell was one of those speakers. He joins us now from our D.C. newsroom to share more about, well, pretty much everything going on in the state of the White House, the congressional session, and everything. A lot going on, right, Congressman? Good to see you.
Good to see you, Tim. Thanks.
It seems like everyone's talking about what's going on in Los Angeles, in California. In fact, I just was on X, and you were commenting on that as well. Why do you think this is striking such a chord, not just obviously in California, to the point where North Carolina members of Congress are tweeting about it, and it's all over the place?
We have told the American people for 4 years that this was going to be the result of open borders and folks coming into our country without being vetted. And now we're seeing that unfold. When you have a Democrat governor, state legislature, mayor, all of these people that want to coddle these gang members in California, you shouldn't be surprised when they start burning down the city. And what really sticks with me, Tim, is that they're flying the flags of other countries and burning ours. These people hate our country, and I am so grateful that we have a president that looked at the governor of California and said, you can't get the job done? Well, guess what? I can. And he sent in the folks that needed to get there to clean it up, and I'm grateful that we have real leadership in the White House that won't tolerate this.
I think this is the first time since the Civil Rights era that a president is called up the National Guard like this. It's usually a governor that asks for it. Do you think it's appropriate that the president did that without the governor requesting it?
Absolutely. You have military-age men and women that have come into our country from God knows where, all across our southern and northern borders. And so this is an invasion of our country. And so how do you respond to an invasion? With action. And that's what the president's done, and I've got his back.
Do you think if this was a President Biden that did the same thing in reverse, you'd be okay with it in the same fashion?
Yeah, I mean, if we had gang members and folks that hate the United States, rioting because we wanted to deport them and send them home, of course, I would be okay with it now. But that's not what we saw. What we saw was Joe Biden leave the side door open in Mexico for all of these unvetted people to come into our country. And again, now we're paying the price for that.
One of the other big topics, obviously, is the quote-unquote big, beautiful bill. It's passed the House, over to the Senate now. Even House members now have voted for it, say they have some problems with it, would like to see changes. Where do you sit with it? Do you think there should be some changes? Do you think it should go through as is?
Well, I'm never going to stand in the way of President Trump's agenda, which is exactly what this bill does. It's not a perfect piece of legislation. You're not going to get that because we had to work with Republicans and get 218 votes. If we had said, okay, we'll work with the Democrats, this would be a terrible bill because they would have come and asked for a laundry list of things that we're trying to get rid of now. And so, this was never going to be a perfect bill, but it's about how can we get it through the chamber and to the president's desk to be able to do what we said we were going to do on the campaign trail, which is secure our border and rebuild our economy. That's exactly what this big, beautiful bill does.
And where do you think this is headed? Do you think it can get through the Senate?
Absolutely. I think this is headed straight to the president's desk. The Senate's going to send it back to the House. We're going to see what changes they made, but this is the president's agenda in legislation, and we need to get it to his desk as soon as possible. We need to start codifying executive orders. We need to start voting on rescission packages, which we're doing this week. And I'm excited to get this bill to his desk as soon as possible, primarily because it gives historic levels of funding to secure our border, but it also prevents the largest tax increase in the history of mankind. That's what this bill does, and that's what every Democrat in the House voted for, was to give you the largest tax increase ever. But Republicans voted against that, and we're going to get this to the president's desk to get him to sign it into law.
There's been a lot of talk about whether it actually increases the national debt. Do you think, even if it is the case, that that's okay to get the president's agenda through?
Well, look, the honest thing here, Tim, is that this is the single largest cut in spending in the history of the world. Think about that for a second. That's what this bill does. It takes bloated, wasteful, fraudulent spending that has taken place in our government, and it gets rid of it. What this bill also does is it funds our border security in a way that we've never had before, at least not in my lifetime, and it prevents the largest tax increase in history. That's what this bill does. But if you want to think about the deficit under a pro-growth president like Donald Trump, with his pro-growth policies that we're enacting, we're not going to increase the deficit, we're going to lower it. And that's what this bill does. But if you want to listen to the folks on the left that want to lie about this piece of legislation, go ahead. But if you want to hear the truth, this bill is going to lower your taxes and it is going to secure our border. That's what it does.
So you don't believe the Congressional Budget Office that says it could add $2.4 trillion?
I mean, the Congressional Budget Office is historically inaccurate, and when they're wrong, they're always wrong towards Democrats. They're never wrong in favor of Republicans. This is a liberal government agency that I think is wrong, again.
One last question before we let you go. Obviously, we mentioned at the top that the Republican state convention was this past weekend. Just give us an update on what you spoke there. What was it like? We know that Jason Simmons got reelected as chairman. Pretty par for the course state convention.
Yeah, well, I want to point out that my former district chair is now the vice chair of the state party, so I want to give a shout out to her. But it was great to see so many friendly faces and to get to speak to a crowd full of Republicans. This is the Make America Great Again movement in action. These are people that are still as fired up as we were in November, and it was great to be with them this weekend.
All right, Congressman McDowell, I know it's busy times up in Washington. We appreciate a few minutes tonight. Good to see you, sir.
Yes, sir. You too, Tim. Take care.
All right, we got to take one more break. Freshman lawmakers share their takes on the ongoing legislative session. That is coming up next. Stay with us.